PEBTF a little bit unique, at least relative to what happens with state employees and retirees and their beneficiaries in other states, is that I guess you are independent. You have your own board. Well, dollars do flow, I guess, from the state for the provision of these benefits in one form or another. The decisions that you make are governed by your own board, and that allows you, I suppose, some flexibility that maybe some of the same types of entities in other states don't have, where maybe that's dictated a little bit more by legislative mandate or administrative policies or so forth and so on. Is that true? And what type of flexibility does that provide you to do this value-based purchasing activity that you're trying to do?
That is, in fact, very true. The funds that we received are collectively bargained, and it's essentially a capitated payment. It's so much per employee per month, which is, as I said, part of a collective bargaining process. The Board of Trustees, which is equal parts union and Commonwealth management representatives, are responsible for all of those decisions. I am not a state employee, and we are not a state agency. So we have more freedom in terms of piloting different programs, working with different partners to maybe try out something new that people in other states don't necessarily have.
And of course, whenever you're responsible for individuals' health benefits, this is very important to members and to individuals, and sometimes they can be skeptical of change or resistant to change, or it's very difficult in this day and age with all the new models and products and things that are available, sometimes just to even communicate changes and why they're happening and what they might entail. So it sort of raises this issue of what people have called patient or member engagement. And I'm wondering, I assume like any purchaser, this is a challenge, is to try to figure out the right way to communicate with folks, to keep them in the loop, to engage them in sort of how programs are working for them. Since this is really so important for any purchaser, I'm wondering if you have any advice, any thoughts on sort of how you approach this, for others who are really trying to do the same thing.
We do have the benefit of some past experience there that I can share. In 2008 and 2010, we made major changes to our retiree programs. And what we found worked was a series of print communications. We do live meetings all over the state. We have information on our website. We just recently announced that we are making changes for 2017 to all of our active and non-Medicare retiree benefits. And we are taking a very similar approach, although we have added webinars, which we've never used in the past. But it's a technology that many people may be more familiar with than, say, a Medicare population would be. And we try to keep it simple, and we use a lot of examples so that we give people scenarios, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to understand how this affects them. So we talk about if you go to the doctor, if you go to the hospital, if you go to the emergency room. We spend a lot of time explaining networks and doctors and hospitals. It's just, I think, consistent, repeated educational efforts work well.